Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness was released this week, and that's all everyone has been talking about. While it has several interesting components, this video will talk about the trailblazing mid-credit scene, which introduces a new character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The fans had plenty of theories and expectations, one of which remained constant since 2016. Spoiler warning for those who haven't seen the movie yet, you can save it for after you've watched the film. This video will discuss Clea, played by Charlize Theron, and with 15 seconds of screen time, she seems to be on Earth 616 to collect Doctor Strange as a repercussion for toying with the Darkhold. She makes it clear that he has caused an incursion and must join her, what we can only assume is the Dark Dimension. Let's begin, shall we? Who is Clea? Clea was the daughter of Prince Orini, who was the son of the former ruler of the Dark Dimension, and Umar, the sister of Dormammu, who is one of the evilest and strongest antagonists in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Despite her human-like appearance, she doesn't have an earthly origin, having been born and brought up in the void that is the Dark Dimension. Eventually, because of a traumatic birth, Umar abandoned Clea after she turned violent and was defeated by her brother. Clea knew very little about her childhood and next to nothing about her birth mother. She grew up in the Dark Dimension, worshipping Dormammu, alongside her father, who played a big role in raising her and always kept her true origin a well-kept secret. This character was first introduced in Strange Tales number 126 in 1964 and was one of the most important supporting characters in Doctor Strange, which is why in 2016, fans were disappointed when she didn't appear in the film. She is more than just a minor character, with several appearances in comics throughout the decades. Although she has mainly appeared in Doctor Strange comics, her character plays an important role in the Dark Avenger comics, Illuminati comics, and even the Defender comics. However, even though she is a brilliant standalone character, her relationship with Doctor Strange is an important part of who she is. Relationship with Doctor Strange. Before we go forward, please subscribe to us. Your small click will help us in a huge way to produce more videos for you. Let's continue. Clea did not know what lay beyond the Dark Dimension, never having traveled beyond it. However, all of that changes when Doctor Strange travels to her dimension to confront Clea's uncle, the deadly Dormammu. He has been tasked by the Ancient One to try and stop Dormammu from conquering Earth. Clea is beyond fascinated by this man and is curious to know more about him, so much so that she tries to convince him to stay away from her uncle, well aware of his wrath and how he might be fatal to Doctor Strange. Despite her efforts, a battle escalates between Dormammu and Doctor Strange, which leads to Clea's imprisonment for helping Strange. However, Strange saves Dormammu from dark entities called the Mindless Ones, and in turn, he asks for Clea to be free, and his wish is granted. However, this is only the beginning. There are several battles between Dormammu and Strange, where Clea helps Strange every single time and deals with the punishment that follows. After a series of events, Strange decides that the only way he can keep Clea safe is if she moves with him to New York. So, Clea makes a big life decision, moving from the Dark Dimension to the Big Apple. Eventually, they both fall in love with each other, making them one of the strongest couples in the Marvel comics. Their love is almost spiritual, given their powers, and together, they save the world. Instead of an official wedding or marriage, they decided to solidify their bond with mystic rings from the Dark Dimension, knowing well that their bond is far deeper than any normal exchange of vows. However, their relationship was never a bed of roses because Clea often had to leave the Dark Dimension to evade the constant threat from her uncle. Furthermore, she once found Strange cheating on her with other women. Eventually, she wanted to annul her marriage, but Strange was not ready to let go, and they decided to remain friends. According to the latest story arc, Strange made a deal with an uber-powerful being called Mephisto to save Earth, but in return, Mephisto wanted the two of them to forget about each other. Strange had agreed to this because he thought Clea didn't love him anymore, but upon learning otherwise, he broke the deal but lost his life. As of now, Clea has taken the surname of the Sorcerer Supreme and calls herself Clea Strange. Furthermore, she is the latest Sorcerer Supreme of Earth. What makes Clea so strong? Clea is half Faultine and half dark-dimensional mortal, which means she was a dangerous mix of pure magic and sorcery. These mystic origins gave her the ability to fly and hover, to begin with, along with several other powers that she learns as she grows into a woman. After Clea moved to New York with Doctor Strange, she was trained under him at the Sanctum Sanctorum, which was his private residence in the city. This eventually led to her becoming the Sorceress Supreme of the Dark Dimension, with immense knowledge and magical power, along with being one of the strongest sorcerers to have ever existed. One of her most important powers was thought casting, which only increased her bond with Doctor Strange as it gave them the ability to communicate telepathically. Not only that, but she could also alter other people's thoughts and memories, and worked as a lie detector, which was incredibly useful in her journey with Strange and otherwise. Clea can also exit her body in astral form, an example of which we see in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, where Wanda uses astral projection. Clea also possesses magical energy bolts and shields, much like Doctor Strange. She can also teleport, and most importantly, she is well versed with all the spells and phrases that aid her during battle or when faced against an enemy. To summarize this in MCU terms for people who would rather not read about her in the comics, Clea possesses the powers of Doctor Strange, Wanda, and Loki all combined, making her one of the strongest characters in Marvel. The case of Multiverse and Clea. If the new Doctor Strange film has taught us one thing, it is that there are multiple versions of the same person in different universes. America Chavez being an exception to this rule. Just as there are different Doctor Stranges in different universes, there are different Cleas as well. The multiverse came to light in the comics and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and since then, fans have thought of endless possibilities and versions of their characters. Just like the others, Clea has appeared outside of Earth 616 multiple times. One of these realities takes place in the Earth X comics, where it is established that the Dark Dimension is an alternate Earth. In this universe, Clea is now against Doctor Strange, years after their love affair, and eventually kills him, forcefully taking the title of Sorcerer Supreme. Her powers and abilities remain the same as those of Clea in Earth 616, which is the universe where she falls in love with Doctor Strange. Clea's future in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In a shocking post-credits scene, we see Charlize Theron take on the role of Clea. She is there to take Doctor Strange, and this solidifies her future in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Although it might be a while until we get to see her in an independent film where she is the lead, fans are happy to settle for Clea as the supporting character. After years of people wishing for Doctor Strange and Christine Palmer to get together, this pairing might be a refreshing change and will be welcomed by comic readers. She is shown decked up in her classic purple armor, staying true to comic canon, and while there are several ways her story could move forward, we can only hope we get to see her team up with Doctor Strange, or against him. There is no stopping when it comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the introduction of new characters in order to continue their production and legacy. However, this character was much anticipated and expected sooner or later. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness has plenty of shockers along with cameos from A-listers. However, this post-credit scene along with Clea takes the cake. That was all in this video. Do hang around for more awesome content on everything that's movies, comics, and TV. Stay safe, and have a good one.
Equal to yours.